Hey everyone, it is tea time with the diva. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, because we're gonna get into it. This tea time is dedicated to Peter Thomas, Cynthia Bailey's ex-husband, formerly from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Well, the other day he got sentenced to 18 months in jail for tax evasion, okay? Not paying taxes, whether it was for his business or personal taxes, it really don't matter. When the government comes for you, they come for you. And they hit the gavel and they gave him 18 months behind bars. Now, before he was even sentenced, he was plotting his return to television. And the producers claimed that he was going to use the money he earned from the show to pay his taxes. Now, Peter, I love you, but stop. Peter was going to use that money. Peter was going to be reckless with the money, like he was reckless in not paying the taxes on his businesses the whole time that he had them. But either way, we're going to get into this story. Peter was trying to come back to TV. I'm not mad at him. Listen, when you know there's money somewhere, and there's definitely money in this reality TV, and you don't have nothing else to do, go for that. He tried it. So maybe what they can do is maybe they can document him all the way up to him turning himself in. He probably got less than 24 or 48 hours to do his jail time. And maybe, because Suge Knight got a whole podcast from jail, collect calls from Suge. Maybe they could do something similar with Peter Thomas. Not sure how many people would be interested, but maybe they could do something like that and chronicleize his jail time for 2 years, because 18 months is almost 2 years. And maybe he'll get out earlier for good behavior and, tell the story of how he's going to figure out a way to pay back this $2.5 million that he owes. So let's get into this. So Roa Cynthia Bailey, ex Peter Thomas, was plotting TV return before his 18-month prison sentence. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Cynthia Bailey, ex-husband Peter Thomas, was working on selling a new television show about his life before he was hit with an 18-month prison sentence. In Touch Weekly can exclusively report. According to court documents, let me just pause this, obtained by In Touch, Peter's 64. So imagine at 64, you got to do 18 months. So at the very least, he'll be coming out when he's 66. Filed a series of letters written by his family and friends ahead of his December 19th sentencing. One of the letters that Peter submitted was from the president of a production company called Blue Collar Productions, Mark Rowan. Mark wrote, Blue Collar Productions is currently developing a TV series based on the life of Peter Thomas. I don't, but maybe people would have tuned in. I don't know how interested people would have been in just the life of Peter Thomas, but he does seem to have a nice sized family. So maybe if he would have intertwined it with his family and everything, maybe people would have tuned in. I would have tuned in just to see initially what it was about, and if I liked it. The series will look at the current activities in Peter's life, including his personal relationships, the opening of bars and restaurants, along with his legal issues. And you know what? He would have had Apollo, because him and Apollo are good friends, do some guest appearances. So, I'm guessing here people would have tuned in. Roller star Cynthia Bailey's ex facing 5 years in prison for tax case, but luckily he only got 18 months. He added it will be done in style of a real life follow documentary, so that the opportunity for Mr. Thomas to comment on his views regarding his tax situation, the legal system, and educating others on what they could be doing will be present and available. Mark continued, we are actively out selling the project and are hoping to have the project set up with a buyer after the start of the new year and anticipate roughly 6 months of filming of Mr. Thomas and others in his world. Sometimes judges, well, when they know a project or a job like this is in the works and you have the potential to make some money to pay back your restitution, they will delay your prison sentence so that you could do said project in order to make money to pay back your restitution. Because I don't know, how does one begin to pay back $2.5 million? Mr. Thomas has told me that the salary he earns will go towards paying his current restitution, the substance of which I do not have any details, he added. At his sentencing, the judge ordered Peter to serve 18 months in prison after he pled guilty to tax fraud. The judge also sentenced him to 2 years of probation after his release. Peter asked the court to throw the not to throw the book at him before the hearing. He proposed serving a 1 year and 1 day sentence. Where did he get the 1 day from? I get maybe 1 year, but 1 day. Now with that 2 year probation after he comes out, there's a lot of restrictions on that too. It's a lot. His lawyer said Mr. Thomas is 64 years old, serial entrepreneur who is incredibly remorseful for his failure to pay trust fund taxes. Mr. Thomas has run and owned restaurants and clubs throughout the Southeast and appeared regularly on the reality television show Real Housewives of Atlanta. He is loved and respected by his community. Well, Cynthia dodged a bullet because I believe if she was still married to him, she would perhaps be on the hook for this $2.5 million bill also. Peter's lawyer added, he is a supportive father and loyal brother and son. He has used his social media platform to encourage others. Did he really? In particular, small business owners to prioritize their obligations to the IRS. Peter's lawyer said Peter opened his first restaurant in Georgia in 2014. He said he closed it the same year and opened another in North Carolina. The attorney continued, both businesses struggled since nearly inception. As Mr. Thomas struggled to keep the businesses afloat, he chose not to pay trust fund taxes from the employee payroll. Mr. Thomas hoped that business would pick up and he could rectify his obligations. However, the debt hole continued to grow. As Mr. Thomas closed one club, he would open another in the hopes that the new location or city would bring success and allow him to recover those debts. In 2018, he opened Bar One, Miami, that has some success but struggled to offset the high rent and cost of upfit. In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic was the death knell to the Miami location, Bar One. Baltimore never got off the ground. With each business, the obligation became larger and larger, his lawyer said. In court, prosecutors accused Peter of failing to pay business taxes owed to the IRS during 2017 through 2023. Peter owned a couple of restaurants in Florida and North Carolina. Peter will serve his time at a facility near Miami. In addition, Peter has to enroll in a substance abuse testing program per TMZ. Peter has yet to check in prison. Cynthia, 57, and Peter were married from 2010 to 2017. You know, that's interesting. They was married for 7 years, and he's accused of not paying the IRS from 2017 to 2023. She really dodged a bullet. If she was still married to him, I do believe when you are married, your husband debt is your debt and your debt is your husband debt. But y'all could correct me in the comments if I am wrong. Because I recently did another story where the wife's husband unalived himself. He was $33.5 million in debt, and they are coming after her for this money, which she doesn't have. But she did get $15 million in insurance money from his death, which that is mind-boggling to me. But anyway, the point I'm trying to come up with is that she is responsible for at least some of his debt. I don't know about the whole 33.5 million, but she is responsible for some. Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts on this situation. So Peter's going to jail for 18 months. After the 18 months, he's going to be on probation for 2 years. He cannot touch alcohol. Of course, you know, drugs are illegal. No drugs. He has to submit to the drug testing, and there was a whole bunch of other stuff that he has to do. Listen, Peter's in his 60s. I wish him well. There's one thing I will say to anybody: crime doesn't pay. But I will also say this: once you hit 50, you should be leaning back, driving the speed limit for sure. You don't want to be in your 50s and beyond and going to nobody's jail. If you do got to do some jail time, it should be 50 and under. And only reason why you may be in the jail at 50 is because you had a life sentence and you was in there since you was younger. But I'm feeling for Karen Huger from the Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay, it seems like a lot of these housewives Or these people in these reality shows get themselves into a lot of trouble. Anyway, guys, you know the routine. Hit that like button, chat with me. I'll chat back. I'll see you in the next video. And do you think the judge should let him delay going to jail for 6 months so he could do this reality show and perhaps earn some money to pay back restitution? Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.